name is Coda, and welcome to part 2 of Just Plain Talk, where it's just plain talk. Like the video, subscribe, we appreciate you for coming here. So in today's video, we're going to actually read the job description of FedEx Express Ramp Agent. The job description is pretty vague. FedEx Express Ramp Agent is responsible for the safe and efficient loading and unloading of packages onto FedEx aircraft and other vehicles. They ensure a timely and accurate movement of FedEx packages at a FedEx facility, following established procedures and regulations. This includes using ground support equipment, adhering to safety protocols, and collaborating with other members of the FedEx team. Ramp Agent is a series of probably 5 ramp agents on team minimum, 5 to 10. I mean, it really does depend on what market you work for and how big the market is. Me in particular, we always had 5, but we ran on 3 ramp agents or 4 ramp agents because sometimes they were always out, they were always missing. They are responsible for the safe, efficient loading and unloading of packages onto a FedEx aircraft. So cargo planes do not work off of bulk loading unless it's aft bellies, and that's in every plane, but we load into ULDs, which we have this stack called the T-stack, which you want to stack it like it's a brick house. That way it's very flush and we can get the cans as heavy as possible. Sometimes there are handlers that build a wall and then they throw the loose packages into the back of the AAD or the AAX or, pretty much anything you can pretty much think of. They would build a wall. If it's hazmat, it has to be tied down depending on the hazmat can, hard haz, or just regular haz that comes down the slide, which is dry ice. Lives needs to be put in the bulk, which you put those in the bellies of the plane where the animals can breathe. Key responsibilities of a FedEx ramp agent: loading and unloading. Safely load and unload packages onto aircraft, trucks, and other vehicles using equipment such as forklift, pallet jacks, and tugs. Yes, we used all the above. I was qualified on everything, and even if I wasn't qualified, we drove it anyway. So following, but not following safety regulations. So with that being said, we also did the material handling portion, which is very important. When we have a material handler, what that is a driver that transports and gets our cans, our ULDs, in order for us to pack on that freight into that can. That way we can clear it to put it into a position in the plane. Important one, we got to make sure a can's good. If the corners are bad, there's a tear in the curtain. Pretty much lock is bad. Sometimes we'll use it with a bad lock because you can still hammer it down and then bring it back up, but most of the time we don't. I know Russell, he was working on my slide. He was like the best I've ever seen worked in my life at FedEx. And he always walked with this weird strut, like a little limp, a little limp. And he has these glasses on. And he was just really the best work ethic I had ever seen in a ramp agent. He knew what he was doing. In a stressful situation, he rarely got stressed. He's always ending the night in a smile. So that's the ramp agent you want. Someone who can actually deal with issues that always occur, because we do work in storms, in ice, anything can happen. I ripped both of my rotator cuffs, for example. We had to be qualified for everything on the ramp, just in case we had to be our own load team, which is what a Southwest Airlines ramp agent is. It is nothing but a load team. They don't have to deal with weight and balance qualifications like Federal Express is doing all the above. Southwest Airlines is a material handler to FedEx, if that makes any sense. So FedEx was a really big airport. It's a very big hub, but I loved the hub. It was a very peaceful hub. There was a lot of people, and they are not lying when they tell you it's a city within a city that has its own language. I did not understand that until I worked there, and I will never forget it. It was one of the best jobs I had in my life. It was a life-changing job. There were so many good people that I met there. There were so many bad people that I met there. It's literally a city within a city. You have to learn who's good to talk to and who's bad. This is where they get you when you apply. This is where every job will get you. Southwest Airlines did this as well. All right. Physical requirements: must be able to lift and carry packages potentially up to 75 pounds. You have to pass background check. It's not true with FedEx anymore. You could be a criminal and still work there. You could work there as a temp. So that doesn't matter at all. You have to have a driver's license. That is very true. You do have to have a driver's license if you are driving If you are a handler, you do not have to have a driver's license. You can apply without a driver's license. You just have to pass a background check and have proper identification, so a state ID. So with that being said, communication skills. I do speak 2 languages. We did have a lot of temps that came in here speaking Spanish, and I would have to take them from slide to slide, sorting them out, telling them what to do. So with that being said, attention to detail is the last one, where we would process and document package information. So what's crazy about this is that there's things that's not mentioned that we do. Weight and balance is something that Southwest Airlines ramp agents do not have to deal with, that FedEx ramp agents do have to deal with. So a FedEx ramp agent is an operations agent and a supervisor and a ramp agent combined. So FedEx, that one role, does all 3 of these roles that have been sorted out at Southwest Airlines. So this one role has been sorted out into 3 groups for Southwest Airlines. So with that being said, I don't understand certain people and why they think their job is hard if I did all 3 of their jobs. With that being said, on a positive note, that is the real main difference between FedEx and Southwest Airlines. One is it's a cargo airplane. It's cargo aircraft. There's cargo GSC equipment. You don't have to use an outrigger. I can't physically go to FedEx and show you what an outrigger is and show you guys how this stuff works. Southwest Airlines sorted out everything, but Southwest Airlines is a really good company to work for because there's so many things that you can represent that FedEx you just could not. It was hard to move up in FedEx. Unless you became a manager, then that was really easy. But above that, it was very hard to move up at FedEx. I knew the vice president, Ernie Sal, at nights. Great dude. Love working for FedEx. Would work for them again. But Southwest Airlines has my whole heart, and I'll explain that in the next part.